Hello everyone, I am Sanvi, Marketing Manager at Happy Locate. Welcome to our special Pet Care AMA session hosted by Happy Locate for those joining for the first time. Happy Locate is India's leading pet relocation partner, and in pet space, we help families move their pet safely and comfortably across cities and countries, and we provide end to end support. So, today we are very excited to collaborate with Aditi, who is the founder of Bhaubha, and that provides professional at-home grooming service for both cats and dogs. They focus on delivering convenient, hygienic, and stress-free grooming experience. Let our viewers know. Let's just start it like what inspired you to start Bhaubha.
Okay, so this is a fun story. So I'm a pet parent too. I have now 12-year-old Shih Tzu. Around 10 years back when I got her, she was a Shih Tzu who needed a grooming session almost every 15 days. And it was a very painful process for us to take her to a salon. What ended up happening was that we always missed the 15-day cycle. Sometimes it got to as long as us taking us almost 30 to 45 days for her to get to a salon. Ended up with her having a lot of knots in her hair, and it was just not a fun experience. My Shih Tzu, who had lovely fur, had to get trimmed down multiple times because we were the ones who were delayed in taking her to a salon. We also realized that she wasn't the most happiest in a salon. She would otherwise, get very silent. She was a very bubbly pet. But after coming back from a grooming from a salon, she would just get very, very silent. So it was not convenient for us, not comfortable for her. So at that point, I thought, why not think of something which brings this entire experience home so that it becomes not only convenient for the pet parent, but becomes a significantly more comfortable experience for the pet herself or himself. That's how the thought of Bhau Bhau actually came up. It took a lot of time for me to bring it to life. I've done a lot of roles in multiple startups as well as some FMCG companies, and now you're at Bhau Bhau. So something that came to my mind around 10 years back is now finally taking shape. And the intent of it is just simple convenience for pet parents and most important, comfort for pets.
Correct. I can understand how much care a Shih Tzu would need, and it really justifies that. And do you think that if we get grooming done at home or their space where they're comfortable, then it makes the reduce the stress and anxiety for the pets?
Yes. So, what happens is that these pets are just more comfortable in their own surrounding, right? When you take them to a surrounding that's not theirs, the sound, just the amount of equipments lying around, other pets in the same space is a little bit of an overwhelming experience for them. That aside, pets don't really love grooming, right? All of them don't really aren't the biggest fans of
Biggest
grooming.
fans, correct.
So you're actually what you're doing is giving them an experience that they don't love in a space that is actually making them even more stressed, right? So we said that why not bring this entire experience at home so that at least the environmental stress which is caused by equipment, sound, other pets is something that we can remove from the process and then provide the full service in the same professional manner, but in a space that they find comfort in. And hence, we've seen through our experience, pets who weren't the happiest getting groomed in a salon have turned to pets who like the process now. That said, I would like to say this doesn't happen immediately, right? It takes multiple grooming sessions of the same groomer going, bonding with the pet, and creating that kind of a relationship where they finally start enjoying it. But what we've seen is removing the external factors makes a huge difference in the process of grooming.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea to at least keep only one variable. Ki just the grooming thing they don't like, but at least they're comfortable in the environment that they are in. And obviously, I like the point that if you send the same groomer or the same technician, they can form a bond. They will just feel ki this person comes again and again, maybe he's a friend or something. So it gets easier for them from time to time.
Yeah.
But in this industry, there anything a myth about pet grooming that you want to break? Ki everybody thinks that, but this is actually not true.
So it's not the industry, but it's for the pet parents, right? So I think there is a huge myth around the fact that I can also be a groomer for my pet and groom myself, right? I think that is something that doesn't work for two reasons, right? Number one, professionals are trained to be able to perform the grooming service in a way that it does not end up hurting the pet, right? An
Correct.
example I'll give you is we train our groomers to ensure no water enters the ears of the pet. Now, when you're doing it yourself, you're not trained to do it, right? So there is a chance that you might make a small mistake, but then that will end up in an unnecessary, discomforting situation for the pet. So, number one, don't try to do it yourself, right? Just thinking that, nilana hi to hai and I will be able to do it doesn't work, because you have to be trained to be able to do it and do it well. Second thing is, people believe that they can use human products on a pet. Doesn't work at all, right? You will end up with your pet getting unnecessary infections, rashes, and stuff that you don't want your pet to go through. Don't try to experiment by trying to become a professional groomer yourself. You will end up hurting the pet, which is something that you also don't want, right? So these are the large two things.
In the process of maybe helping, they can actually hamper the whole process, and then
Yeah.
something can go wrong. So it's always important to take your pets to a groomer, or get a groomer at home. And is there any particular sign in some conditions that you see in your pets that you feel that they need grooming ASAP?
So
Or
in the toy breeds, hair matting and hair growing around the eye area, right? The minute sight is getting restricted because of growth of fur, it's the first sign that they need a haircut. Second, if you see any kind of mats or knots on the body of the pet, one, you should try and comb it out immediately. If you cannot, it's an urgent sign to visit a groomer. In the larger breeds, which are not as hairy, it's the smell. You'll also start feeling like the ear is smelling a bit. You'll get like a little bit of a smell from the overall body. If you see the nails are growing and overturning, that's a immediate sign to go and get a nail cut done, right? So
correct.
these are the large signs. Smell and sight, right? So the way I think of it is, if you smell something which you feel is not fresh, if you see something that you see is restricting the dog's ability to see, both are signs for you to immediately clean.
What do you think, Matlab, what is all included in a typical Bhav session?
So a bhav session is actually designed to keep the pet's comfort as at the center. That's largely what it is. So we spend the first 10 minutes bonding with the pet. It's called playtime before groom time. So the groomer will come into the house. They'll ask either for a treat if the pet parent is comfortable, or just without anything, they'll just run around with the pet and play for some time. That way, what happens is the pet gets used to the groomer touch, which is not a grooming touch, right? So there is a little bit of trust and comfort that we kind of develop there. After that, we move to the service that the customer needs. So we have three kinds of services: basic grooming, which is bath and hygiene, which is bath, blow dry, nail cutting, ear cleaning, and teeth cleaning. If you add a haircut to this, it becomes a full grooming service. And if you want just a haircut, that's also something we do. So we do the bonding time, get to the grooming. Post the grooming, we clean the complete space that has been used so that there's no mess, no hair lying around. And after that, we wrap the service. So that's largely how we do that.
Oh, that's great. And sometimes there are certain breeds or pets who are scared or who are a little bit aggressive. Then how do pet parents, the handlers, handle those pets?
Yeah. So, see, aggression largely comes from anxiety, right? They are uncomfortable with the sound of a trimmer, or uncomfortable with the sound of a blow dryer, or they've had certain past experiences which are coming out in the way of an aggression, right? So, this is not magic, right? We are dealing with pets. They have emotions themselves. We have to be respectful of their emotions. So when it comes to an aggressive pet, one, we have specialist groomers who are trained to be able to groom aggressive pets. Now, even with these groomers, sometimes we end up in not being able to complete the complete service. But for us, it's important that we get the pet to be comfortable versus having to complete the full service. So what we do is, sometimes if the pet is uncomfortable, we will break the service into two parts. We'll say that on day one, we'll do 50% of the service, but the groomer will spend time bonding with the pet. In a couple of days, we come back and do the rest of the service so that the pet is comfortable by the time we've come again. If there are some times where after playing with the doggo, he actually or she gets happy and we can perform the full service, but we keep their comfort at the center. We send specialist groomers, we bond with them, and we are not obsessed with completing the full service. We ensure that through the process there is no harm at all on the pet, because see, when the pet is aggressive, there is chances of him trying to snap, move and stuff like that, right? So keeping the pet safe is super critical. We also, for all our aggressive grooms, send a groomer along with a helper. The helper is trained to be able to hold the dog or the cat, and the groomer is trained to be able to handle an aggressive pet in some sense, right? Combination of these two is largely what we use. We've seen success. We've also educated our customers that don't expect magic to happen in one go. You might end up in a place where you feel that the dog is showing the same kinds of aggression that they were showing earlier in our first session too. But over a period of 2 to 3 sessions, it settles down.
Pet is comfortable. The pet first approach really helps. And also sending a helper along with it would be really great for some pets. If the owner already knows, and they can also ask you guys ki that's how my pet is on the first telephonic call, and then you can get this kind of help. And do you think that regular grooming also helps with the pet's overall health, and it can help with like shedding, ticks, or any kind of skin issues that might come with that?
100%. So regular grooming helps in multiple ways, right? From a physical aspect, it helps in maintaining the health of the coat. It helps in maintaining the health of the skin. It helps in keeping any kind of infections away, right? So when we are blow drying the pet just after the grooming, after the bath, we can see if there is any kind of small infection that's coming up, or we can see if there is a tick or so. So we are able to catch the infection early on, and we communicate it back to the customer. So when you're regularly grooming, think of it as a check on the skin condition of the pet, right? That's number one. So from a physical aspect, 100% has a lot of benefits. From a mental aspect, pets feel more confident, happier, and much more relaxed when they are nicely groomed, right?
Correct. Even I feel ki regular grooming also affects the pet's mood and how they behave, so it's very important to get it done. But I think you must be having some fun stories where the pet has acted like a total VIP during the grooming session, or there was any dramatic grooming session that you have ever seen. If you have any anecdote on that, or any story, so please just tell us a fun
So
experience.
because we groom at home, right? So
हाँ.
these are also the flip side to grooming at home also is that they feel like ये तो मेरा टेरिटरी है, तुम कौन होते हो इसमें घुसने वाले, right? और तुम कौन
Correct.
होते हो मुझे बाथरूम में लेके जाने वाले, right? So they are just like why and who. So we've had lots of fun stories of how pets react to being taken to the bathroom, right? So there was this massive golden retriever, saw the groomer and went and hid under the table and started acting like we can't see him, right? So he was very confident that he has hidden himself and now there's no way that we're going to get to him. Of course, it was a massive golden retriever and we could get to him. Then a Shih Tzu, right? So a Shih Tzu basically, it was like a 5-minute complete hunt to find him in the house because he had gone into the bathroom and in one corner gone and just sat down, cuddled up. So the groomers, the pet parents, all of them were trying to find where he is, couldn't see him. Then we finally found him in the bathroom. So the fun stories are actually how we take these fun creatures into the bathroom. Once they're in the bathroom and once they're in the water, no, they completely submit. It is all the drama that happens before taking them into the bath.
Take them. Correct. That is a fun story. So let's talk about, if we compare cats and dogs, who do you think is tougher to groom?
100% cats. They don't like it. They just don't like it. See, they self-groom, right? So they lick themselves clean and stuff like that. However, what happens is the haircuts are important even for cats.
Exactly.
So it is in that process, they aren't happy, right? One, they are also not very social creatures. So when you expect them to get okay with some person coming from outside and touching them and stuff like that, doesn't work. They are difficult to groom, and we understand that cat grooming needs specialized groomers. So a dog groomer is not trained to do cat grooming. The cat groomer needs to be trained to understand the way a cat reacts to grooming. He should know when to give the right breaks, because you don't want to end up in a situation where you're giving the cat any kind of anxiety, right? So it's a very different ball game. They don't like the process of grooming and need to be groomed very gently, very differently, and very patiently.
Got it. Okay, I have one question as we are into like pet relocation. So, what do you think we should get a pet grooming done before the journey or after the journey once they're back, or does the grooming help them better in a long journey, or does it really help them feel more comfortable, or how should the pet parent go about it?
Yeah. So, see, 100% you should groom before the journey, only because it helps in overall elevating the mood of the pet, right? However, if your pet is someone who does not like or enjoy the process of grooming at all, don't do it. Because anyway, he or she is not going to be the most comfortable during the process of relocation, right? So why stress them before, relocation is anyway going to happen? If they are comfortable and enjoy the process, please do it. If they don't do it and stress them more. What is important, however, is to groom after the relocation, right? Because they get dirty during the process, they could have picked up some infections during the process, anything could have happened, right? So what we suggest is, let a couple of days pass, let the pet settle a bit in the new locality. Try to home groom after this, because there is just so much change that has happened. If in that situation you take the pet to a salon, it is just adding more to their anxiety, right? So in the home space, comfortably, a couple of days after the pet has come and settled down is when you do the grooming
Is
service.
there any DIY grooming tip that a pet parent can do it on their own, and what should be left on professionals only? And is there any one mistake that parents should like totally avoid at all costs?
Yeah. So, see, a lot of pet parents think of giving a bath as bonding time, right? Because pets who love water love the process of splashing and stuff in, like, water surroundings. So do it, right? Do it because it's a great bonding moment between you and your pet. However, be very careful when you blow dry, right? So when you ask me about DIY, right, I would suggest to every pet parent, if you are grooming in or bathing a dog at home, invest in the right blow dryer. The human blow dryers don't dry the fur of the pet the way it is supposed to, and wet skin is a start of infection. So invest in the right blow dryer so that you can carry on the grooming process in a professional manner to some extent, right? So that's one. Second, never try to cut their nails. Never. It takes a lot of precision to be able to figure where the nerve is ending, and you don't want to get into a place where you clip the nerve, right? Don't do it. It's not it is not something that you're trained for. Instead, if you want, get those mats, right, on which they self cut their nails in some sense, or leave it to a professional. Do not try to do the nail cutting on your own. Do not never try to cut around the eye area. So for all the toy breeds, which is a Shih Tzu, Maltese, Poodle, etc., the hair around the eye area, the fur around the eye area grow very fast. And some pet parents just think that मैं कैंची से काट देता हूँ. No, the grooming scissors are specifically designed to not hurt eyes. You take a pointed scissor, try to cut it, it could lead to something you don't want. So never try to cut their fur. Never try to cut their nails. And when you blow dry, please use the right equipment and ensure that they are completely dry. Combing a dog regularly, or a cat for that matter, like hairy breeds, is super critical.
Okay.
We've done a lot of grooms over the last 9 months, and one thing I've seen constantly is when you don't brush your pet's fur on an everyday basis, the pet is going to get knots. Now, what happens is when there are knots, we have two ways to be able to solve for it, right? We either remove the knots or we cut the knots. Now, pet parents don't like their fur being shaved off. We hate it. We don't want to shave any pet's fur. But dematting, which is detangling of knots, is a very painful process also for the pet. So you shouldn't expect magic to happen where where you've not brushed your dog enough or well, and then you walk into the groomer, you walk to the groomer, and then you expect that the groomer will just like use a magic wand and everything will be fine. Doesn't work. You need as a pet parent responsibly brush your pets fur every single day. Otherwise you will end up in knots and it will not be a fun experience for your pet. So just that's one thing I tell all my pet parents. Don't forget brushing your pet's hair.
That's a great tip, Aditi, and a great closing line. So, everybody, please comb your pets, do it regularly. It's for your own good and your pet's good. So, that's a very good hack. And thank you, Aditi, for joining this wonderful conversation. All your words were very insightful, and conversation like this really help the pet parent be better informed and see that how better they can take care of their pets. So, thank
Thank
you.
you, Sandy. Thank you for having me.